Hey guys, we're Nerd Jams. We are back after that very long hiatus. What are you doing?
I'm sorry.
Alright guys, we're Nerd Jams. We are back after that very long hiatus. Like 50 something days. Crazy. It's 2017. Happy New Year, I guess. All that good stuff. Some things have changed. We got married. Not really. You be quiet. Yes, Jadon dyed his hair blonde and got a haircut. Looks very different.
Yeah, leave your comments in the section below.
Please leave a comment. Anyways, we're back with Legends of Super Flarrow. Which Jadon apparently hates.
Great. I don't like that.
Jadon also hates the first show that we're going to start with, Supergirl. What do you think of this one? You don't hate it?
I don't hate it. Like I said, I don't hate the show. There's just a lot of... I actually enjoy the show, but there's just some elements that I think overshadow the rest of what I like. So it's just like, it just leaves me a little sour.
I loved this episode.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Hilarious.
I liked it a lot. That's probably because Kevin Smith directed it.
Yes.
I've never seen Mallrats or anything, so I'm not a huge Kevin Smith fan. He freaks out whenever Kevin Smith attaches himself to something.
I don't freak out, but you've never... Mallrats at least?
I'm not talking about you.
I know, but some people do.
There's like this whole community where it's like... They
Chasing Amy?
out. No.
Oh my god. Jay and Silent Bob?
No.
Okay, but Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back? It's got Eliza Dushku in it.
No.
In leather. A leather catsuit. Okay, off topic. Kevin Smith's directing was awesome. Except... Did you notice Mono is the one that sticks out the most to me? But there were several, or maybe not several, but a few parts where Mono's on the ground and he sees that Kara's about to be shot, but then the alien doesn't shoot. Yeah. And he looks at the alien, he looks at Kara, and then he looks at the alien, and then he thinks about how he can save her.
Yeah, so that was one of my biggest, that's one of the biggest, like, that's one of the things I just hate about this episode, though, was that, I mean... I'm glad that they didn't have the whole thing where like, he jumps in front of the bullet or whatever. That's the only thing that saved the scene, or else I would just would have been done with it right then and there. But yeah, there's a couple of those.
Yeah, there's one with Win, right? Yeah, when the guy pulls the gun on Win.
That wasn't as bad.
Not as
because like it's like he freezes and it's he's got a gun in his face or something. But it's I don't know. It just seemed different than when he looks up and the guy looks at him and then he looks at him and then he looks at him and then he stands up and he looks at him and he looks at him back and...
You're in the middle of a gunfight and you're not shooting. It was so awkward. And I know that movies have those moments all the time and we're supposed to think that it happens in a split second.
They're smoother than that.
So that could have been editing. That could have been this or that. It was very noticeable. Very noticeable. Oh, Mono.
Yeah, I still, he's the best part for me. Him and Win are, I've had this love-hate relationship with Win where I liked him at first, then I didn't like him because of the whole love triangle thing, and then I like him again.
Oh my gosh, love triangles. We did a whole video on that on accident on another show.
Yeah.
I love Win. I love Jeremy Jordan. I think he is adorable, and he delivers one-liners fantastically, and just the right amount of geek and strength.
Yeah, but he's also relatable and he's realistic.
Yes. Yeah. Human.
Yeah, he's very human.
He's not Guardian.
Yeah, so,
I hate Guardian. I'm sorry, I hate him. I'm not sorry.
Yeah, don't be sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
James sucks.
He does. He's awful, and he has no point. With Cat Grant gone, they thrust him into the Catco role.
But apparently he's a reporter, too.
Right, he's a reporter because he wrote up a story for Snapper Carr.
But, like, the way he said it, though, like, because when he put it in his
right, he slipped it into his arm.
But he gives him, like, this look like, I'm your boss, so you have to run it.
Yeah.
And it's like... Who put this?
His arm.
But he gives him like this look like I'm your boss, so you have to run it.
Yeah.
And it's like, who put this guy in charge? So yeah, like
he's not the love interest now, so it's like let's give him this.
Better.
Let's make every Guardian sucks.
Yeah. So
it's just
like wasn't really paying attention during the Parasite fight when he first showed up. But I have to admit his suit doesn't look as bad as I thought it did, but it still sucks. It's basically just Diggle's suit.
Yes, it is. The helmet, the slit. Okay, but when you brought up Parasite, I get that his shield is apparently, what did we say, vibranium? because it can withstand everything.
Yeah, Prime Universe.
Captain America. Captain America's shield, apparently.
It's the whole inconsistent powers thing. Like, physics sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't work.
Well, Parasite was sending Supergirl flying in one punch, and James is able to hold off with his shield on his arm. I hate it. It's so stupid. Whoa, none of that.
Tired.
But I did like the Win episode, or the Win storyline with the arc that he had where he started out and you said that you didn't, they basically forced him to go out into the field when he didn't want to. Yeah,
I mean, it's, every show has that, where the tech guy has to go out into the field.
Like Felicity in Arrow this week.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was even worse.
Oh my God. No reason to be there. At least Win had a reason to be there.
Yeah. But it was a nod to the Legion of Superheroes with the transmatter portal. That's what they used to go from planet to planet.
Oh, you mean Stargate?
Yeah, the Stargate. Love that. I just started watching SG-1, so I love that reference, along with the Star Trek references.
Okay, we gotta talk about the Star Trek references.
Yeah.
So Win makes the red shirt reference, and I play sports, play football, I play defense, and you're not allowed to hit the red shirt, who's the quarterback. So I took it as, oh, you also are a red shirt freshman, you're someone who sits out. So I took it as a sports reference of he wasn't going to get hit, or he was the one who sits out. I'm not the red shirt. And I was like, Win just made a sports reference?
It's quite the opposite.
So the Star Trek reference is the red shirt,
so yeah,
what is the officer, right?
Every time they go to a new planet, they have a red shirt. Someone from the
off character.
Yeah, who always gets killed to show how dangerous the planet is or whatever. So yeah, that was a great reference.
So you got a reference that I didn't get for once. That's awesome.
There's a lot of them. I mean, there's a lot of references.
Yes. Oh my God, Alex is adorable in this. When she picks up the alien gun, oh, I got dibs. Kyler Lee, I just love her. I really do. And the Danvers sisters. Their relationship this episode.
I think that's another Stargate reference. I think I just watched that episode.
Oh, I got dibs?
Where they find new Jafar guns or whatever. New alien. They find new alien guns and they're like, oh, pass them out or something like that. It was really similar.
The crinkle. You remember the crinkle?
yeah, the crinkle.
I love it. So Kyler Lee and Melissa Benoist, their relationship just melds so well together. It could be, because they're so close off screen that comes in, but you believe them as sisters. You know they're not related in real life, and they're obviously not related in the show. However, the more I watch it, and yes, I've watched the show a lot. I've rewatched episodes and scenes because I really like it. However, you start to see little nuances, their facial expressions, the way they stand, and this, that, and it's really, but I just love the way that the crinkle, and Melissa Benoist had so many funny lines in this episode, and that was one of my favorites. The crinkle!
Yeah, when she has, the biggest crinkle out of everyone.
Like Kyler? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a solid episode. I mean, there's a lot of good humor in it. It's a nice episode.
Roulette was back.
Yeah, Roulette was back. I didn't think she quite fit into this episode. She shows up and makes a reference to slavery or something, and then she's out. But whatever, she can be the Malcolm Merlin or whatever.
Right, just pops in everything. I love how nonchalant she is. She's got the same dress on again.
Yeah.
And she's got her little shawl, and she's when they get beat and steps into the. I love it. Oh, we had the Dominators.
Yeah. It wasn't. Yeah, it was cool to see them. I still think they should just go with the traditional cloak, and then you just have a rubber mask or whatever. Cut down on the CGI, but yeah, whatever.
Oh, we talked about, again, it's been a long hiatus, so it's hard. I remember saying that I hoped they touched on some way, somehow, Kara going to the other planet. And I regress in that, and I think they did well of just kind of Kara being bored, and we know why she was bored, because she was off saving the world from, the Dominators. So she doesn't want to just fight bank robbers.
Worst bank robbers ever. Okay, so they're acting all cocky, they have some sort of secret weapon against Supergirl, and it's one rocket. Just one.
Just one.
And then when that doesn't stop her, it's like, oh crap, I can't believe that one rocket didn't stop her. Come on, guys.
But I like that instead, because the more I thought about it and the more I read, fan fiction stories that dealing with it, they would have had to have too long of a scene of, I'm sure, Alex arguing about how she shouldn't go and how she could die over there. So I'm glad that they just kind of put little nuggets here and there of, oh, I hate these guys when she saw the Dominators, and that she's bored because she was off saving the planet somewhere. But Alex is one of my favorite characters, we know that, and I love that with this episode we got to see like a softer side of Alex. We didn't see that side of her a lot in season 1. We got to see the badass agent and the sister Alex. And now, we're going to see her happy and just giddy and adorable and just falling over her relationship. And then she goes a little crazy and it's like, I can't do this but that points to her upbringing and what she went through. Just think about that. Like how much they did in that one little of her freaking out like that and ending the relationship in that moment over it. That just shows so what she's gone through being Supergirl's sister and the pressure that she's felt.
I didn't think of it that way. It did bug me though. That it was like, oh, I'm happy, but my sister's gone missing, so this means I should break up with you or something. I thought it was stupid. I'm more okay with the relationship now that we've gone past the whole beginning of it, I guess, because that felt very convoluted and just very dramatic and whatever. It's just whatever. I'm more okay with it now, but I get why she's a little more desperate. She seemed more. For me, it's a little too night and day between the agent and her just regular in love Kyler or whatever, I guess.
Alex.
Sorry. Alex.
They're not the same person.
Yeah.
But she's almost 30 and she's never felt that before.
Yeah.
Think back to your first girlfriend or your first crush. When you were a teenager.
I like to think I kept it a little bit cooler than what she's doing. But whatever.
But maybe not. But I did love that they did not tell us, or they didn't drag out Maggie not knowing it's Kara.
Yeah.
She's close to Alex and she's going to be around Kara and more, obviously. She's a detective. She detects. And I love how they introduced it.
Yeah, it's a great reference to I think it was Batman Hush storyline where he's at the Daily Planet and he's talking to Perry White and he's thinking, there's no way that Perry White or Jim Gordon doesn't know that I'm Batman or that he's Superman because they're too good of a detective. But it's just always been left up to the fans of like, oh, do they know or do they not know?
Right.
But it was nice to just get it out of the way.
Yes. Well, and the way they did it, so again, it's a testament to Kyler's acting and how we get that super soft side of Alex. But as soon as Maggie cuts her off when she's talking about it and says, because your sister is Supergirl, or because Supergirl's your sister, Alex kind of shifts, and you see it in her facial expression. She trusts Maggie, she cares for Maggie, but she immediately goes into agent mode. Like she stands up, it changes on her face. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then the glasses.
Yeah, I mean.
And I love that Alex says it too, though. She's like, yeah, I totally think it's ridiculous.
Yeah. But I mean, it's funny, but yeah, of course, it pokes holes in previous
always
things
going
like
to.
with
Kat.
Kat.
I miss Kat. Is she ever coming back?
I don't think so.
We get Livewire next week. Maybe someone should mention Kat's name. It'd be nice. I miss Calista Flockhart.
Yeah, I think she's done though.
Oh, sad. Mon-El, you love him.
I love Mon-El. So Mon-El was one of my favorite for a time. One of my favorite comic book heroes. He was one of them. I went to this Legion of Superheroes phase, and he was one of the coolest. Because I think, if I remember correctly, it was he was one of the people who taught Superman how to be Superman.
Definitely a different version.
It's this whole thing where they went back in time and basically, when Clark Kent was a kid, and they took him to the future and taught him how to be Superman.
Gosh, time travel.
It works really well with that story, though. It really does, because they inspired him and he inspires them later on. It's the whole thing. But it's great. And don't question it.
I like the actor. I think he's funny. He had some funny lines in this. Oh, wait, I did see on Tumblr, though. I love Tumblr. When Kara tells him to go get help, and he follows her onto the planet, and then they get stuck, and no one knows they're there. It's like, if the man would have just followed directions like he's supposed to and gone, we wouldn't be in this predicament at all.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny. But I don't know, it was a very fun episode, and I don't like them together. I don't feel like they have a lot of romantic chemistry, and it just feels very forced right now. So we'll see how they're gonna do. And then he's gonna become a superhero. We already have Guardian trying to be a superhero. And then next thing you know, Wynn's gonna be a superhero. It's fine. He's gonna make himself a suit.
I really hope not. Because I like the whole commentary that you don't have to be a superhero to be a hero.
Yes.
I mean, you can just by doing your job, like being a reporter or something, you can be a hero. That's what they talked about before, but then they just...
Or, touching on that, how Kara doesn't have her powers, and yet it's inside of her that she is the one who still stands in front of the crowd of people she doesn't know and takes the gun, whatever it is, the electricity. And because of that, they rally around and they beat, which is obviously just a plot device, and, you know, they go through plot so fast, so many storylines on one episode.
It worked better than in the Flash crossover, where they're fighting in the middle of the town and everyone stands up and is like, get away from Supergirl.
Yeah, that definitely worked better. But Mon-El is, you know, he's standing on the side and he keeps saying, let's leave, and da-da-da, and it just keeps poking holes in the fact that even though he comes at the end and says, I want to be a superhero, you know, his car is backed off on the whole, you should do it. She's letting him do his thing, and he comes and says, I want to be a superhero at the end, but we're seeing it all along. He's not doing it for the right reasons. Yeah. He's not a true hero.
I liked it. I like this hero talk better because it wasn't so much as you're a terrible person for not wanting to be a superhero. Yeah. But then they kind of changed it into he's just being a coward, which I didn't like. I think it would have just been nice just if he was just didn't want to be a superhero. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with it.
He's trying to atone for his princely ways on Daxam, and you know, he was against slavery, but he couldn't do anything about it as the prince of Daxam.
Was it AfterBuzz that said it would be more of a twist if he wasn't the
prince? Yes, yes, it was AfterBuzz. That was, and I laughed out loud at that. I was like, that is so true. At this point, everyone knows he's the prince, and if they decide to tell us he's not, yeah. We would be more shocked.
But I think my biggest nitpick with this episode though was the Martian stuff. So, okay, so Martians are shapeshifters, so there's no reason why he can't just shapeshift his lungs so that he can breathe. But no, he has to stay behind. You know, we don't send humans into space where they can't breathe ever with these things called suits or masks. Yeah, but Martians can survive in space. Well, but I'm saying, like, why couldn't they make him... They can make a yellow sun grenade. Yeah, but they can't... They don't have the budget to make a little mask that, you know, Superman used in the 90s, that whenever he went into space, he had a little mask that he could breathe with. They can't... They can make a sun grenade, but, you know, a mask is out of the question. Which was really stupid, by the way. That, this grenade all of a sudden gives her powers back. Quite far-fetched. It doesn't change the fact that the sun is still coming down on her. But sure, she can. You know. Still a very good episode. Lots of great writing and the directing. Obviously, Kevin Smith. He's coming back for episode 17. I'm pretty excited. I have no idea what the episode's about, but they said it was episode 17 that he'll be back. So we'll see how that goes. And so if you guys don't know, the title of the episode comes from his script that he wrote for the Superman movie in the 90s that never came about, that he did with John Peters, and then Tim Burton was attached to it, and Nicolas Cage was going to be Superman. God, I'm so glad that never happened. Right? How? Why? Nicolas Cage is... Oh my god. He's like the biggest nerd, though. He's one of the biggest nerds. Yeah, but we can't even go... But yeah, check out the documentary by Collider Heroes John Schnapp called The Death of... This really weird title. The Death of Superman Lives. What Happened, I think is what it's called. It's a good documentary, though. Google. It's a weird name. You never get it right. But yeah. Anything else? Sandverse, I'm all for it. It was adorable. It's very well acted. They have amazing chemistry. And I'm glad
that so far the main romantic relationship is not the main character, the title character. I like it. I like that it's a side character. However, give Maggie a backstory or something. Like, kill off James.
She really just, like, floated in.
Yeah, like, kill off James and tell us who the hell Maggie is.
Okay, so
we know her in the comics.
So that's a great segue into The Flash. Because they introduced Greg Grunberg. A lot of people will recognize him from Heroes. He was Officer Parkman. The guy who could read minds. He's also J.J. Abrams' like best friend since he was a kid, so he's been in Alias and Felicity and Star Wars.
I probably know him then.
You'd if you've seen him, you would know him. He's kind of a bigger guy, black hair. Yeah, just look at that picture. I mean, you'll instantly recognize him.
IMDb.
But yeah, like he in the Flash, he all of a sudden showed up as a cop, but they give no backstory. Like literally, like, it was just a couple episodes. They turn the camera and it's him, and he's yelling orders at people. And that's his introduction. Like he's a really good actor, so it's kind of beneath him what they're doing. But
yeah.
But yeah.
I heard The Flash was really good. I follow it on Tumblr. I don't watch it, but I do follow it on Tumblr, and they finally told Iris.
Yeah.
And everyone.
I'm glad it didn't take a couple episodes to finally build up to telling her that she's gonna die. But she handled it, like the actress, the scene that she had with Barry where he tells her, it was really well done. She can really turn those tears on. Like, yeah. I
saw that scene.
Yeah, it's really an emotional scene. But yeah, so with this one we just had, we had Plunder, who's part of the Rogues Gallery in the comic books. But he was just kind of like a one-off villain. He kind of like a Deadshot, Deathstroke discount version. He had an eye patch and stuff. But he wasn't bad or anything. They've had worse.
How you feeling about Kid Flash these days?
Don't hate him as much. He's actually kind of likable in this episode. It's his enthusiasm that's really cool. I mean, because it's like anyone else who's always wanted to be a superhero. You know, he's having that experience. But the suit really doesn't work for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the skin color. And I can say it because I'm black.
What?
Yeah. Surprise. But yeah, like I don't know if it doesn't work with the skin tone or something. It looks weird on him. It looks a lot better on the white Wally Flash. The white Kid Flash, Wally West. The suit looks a lot better on him. Just look up a picture.
Racist.
Just look up a picture. But no, like in the comic books, the Black Wally has a black and gray suit with red lightning, and it looks really good.
There's multiple races of the same person?
Yeah.
Don't even.
It was a retcon, but then they retconned it again. But it actually makes sense. They were both named after their grandfather.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, Draco Malfoy was in this episode?
Yes. Yeah, and no. There's a dog there. Yeah, Tom Felton does a really good job. There's a lot, you can really tell there's a difference between his ability to, I guess, portray his character than everyone else. Not to say that everyone else sucks, but like, it's just a difference between a movie actor and a television actor. And he plays his part really well. He really stands out from everyone else. Yeah. The reason why I like him is because he's a dick to everyone, and he calls everyone out on their crap, especially Barry. But he's starting to become...
need that.
Yeah, he really does need it. But he's starting to become more sensitive. Like, he's like really rude to... Because Caitlin comes in and asks him if he can help her, and he says, I put people in prison, I don't help them. Like, people like you. But then he comes back and apologizes. And I thought I would hate him being part of Team Flash, but I'm actually strangely okay with it because he can contribute. Unlike Iris and Joe, who just basically are there to say, what does that mean? Oh, it's science. Okay.
Oh, they're just there to sing in the musical crossover. That's not going to be a crossover. But anyways.
We'll ignore that.
So what is Draco Malfoy's character's name?
Julian something.
So what's his shipper name gonna be with Caitlin? Because I'm calling that. I don't even watch the show and I'm calling that.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with that relationship.
Yeah.
Although Ronnie is coming back somehow.
Ronnie ML?
Robbie ML.
Robbie ML
but
is what I
his character's name is
Ronnie. Whatever.
Yeah.
The one who died?
Yeah, twice. He honestly just needs to decide if he wants to.
Yeah, he died in both Earths. Bad guy and good guy, right? When he was Firestorm. And
well, good guy. I guess it can be said that we don't know if he died because his body was lost or whatever. So, but yeah, it really is. I'm getting annoyed with it. I was all for him at the beginning, but he keeps going like, "Oh, I want to do movies," but then I want to come back, and then I don't know.
It's because he's not getting any movie roles.
the freaking Amels are weird. Like, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm actually okay with that relationship. I'm not okay with them not telling Joe, because that was one of the things is that they gathered the whole team together and say, hey, Iris is gonna die, and everyone's like, okay, let's prevent it. But then she's like, well, let's not tell my dad though.
Does Kid Flash know?
Yeah, he knows,
What?
which is weird because he's just like his dad, so you would expect him to want to go off and fight Savitar by himself. It's really weird. But yeah, it was a really solid episode. Like, the tone was a little bit different. It was a little bit more serious. There's still humor in it, but it wasn't so...
What was about the dominoes?
Oh yeah, so there's a lot of like really like...
Tumblr.
Just like moments where they just like kept going instead of just focusing on the joke or whatever. But like there's one point where HR is trying to explain something. He's like, I wish I had some dominoes or something. And Barry goes and like he just picks up a box of dominoes. Like, oh, here's some. It's like, oh, okay, cool. That's convenient.
They just continue.
Like, yeah, I think that's actually what he says. Like, oh, that's convenient. And then they just continue. So there are some really cool moments like that. Then they have this whole Star Labs museum.
Oh yeah,
which will become the Flash Museum probably. So yeah, if you don't know, in the comic books, the Flash there's like multiple Flashes. They have their own museum because Keystone and Central City love the Flash.
Like Keystone beer?
So they mentioned Keystone a couple times in the Flash, but they're like just cities right next to each other.
Okay.
In the comic books, one Flash works in Keystone, another one works in Central. It's really not that hard to follow. The multiple Flashes.
What?
One's older, one's the current Flash, and then one's Kid Flash. It's really pretty simple.
You know, there's 30 Laurel Lances that are all going to come back, and they're going to constantly break Oliver's heart, and then Barry's going to die, but then we're going to find another one, and it's fine.
Anyways, but yeah, that's the whole Star Labs thing, though. It's just something for HR to do because he's
so annoying.
Yeah, and he carries drumsticks. As a drummer, it annoys me to no end to see people who carry around drumsticks for no reason at all, except to wave and point at people with them. Get a laser pointer or something. Like, he doesn't use them at all in the episode.
Hey, you know what? He's going to use them in the musical episode.
I bet you he doesn't. I bet he doesn't.
But one of the things about Supergirl and a lot of these shows and how they blow through plot so quickly, but also how they have a villain of the week, like you were talking about. Buffy did it really, really well to where you had the Scooby Gang and you were able to dive into their personal lives, and you know they would still go out and kill a vampire or still go out and have to battle something, but it wasn't where like Supergirl had, you know, the Medusa episode had the Mon-El being sick, and then had the Lena Luthor storyline. There's so many storylines going on in one episode all the time. It's like, why, you know, she doesn't... Then we get... It feels cheapened when, you know, they just happen to defeat them like that. Like this episode. It was fun, but they really did defeat everything like a blink of an eye.
Yeah. One thing about this, though, with this villain this week, though, was that he connected to the whole Iris being killed in the future.
Right.
And so they had Kid Flash beat him instead of the Flash to try and change the future.
Oh.
So it was connected that way.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, I think the whole reason why we didn't see Savitar this week because basically budget, because he's a CGI character because they're idiots for some reason and wanted a CGI character that means nothing to anybody.
Kind of like Legends this week. No one can suit up.
Yeah, but yeah. But at least it wasn't like obviously budget constraints.
Right.
But so what I was saying with HR is that he Oh, so basically with him, I think they're gonna find out next week that he has been stealing money or something, because they keep glossing over how we keep the lights on at Star Labs, and like they keep asking him, oh, how did you pay for this museum and stuff? And he's like, oh, logistics or whatever. Let's just keep moving. So there's that. I think what they should do is just send HR away, grab a time remnant of the original Wells, who actually formed Star Labs, is a smart person and whatever, and then have him on the rest of the show. Then you can have Tom Cavanaugh, instead of just creating like an endless stream of different versions of him that are stupid.
No, it's all dumb.
Basically, just stick with one version and keep him. But
anything else for the Flash before we jump into Arrow?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a really solid, good episode. The only thing that really bugged me was through the whole DC universe, the power inconsistency. No. They couldn't catch a guy on a motorcycle. But I guess without even really trying, Barry can break the time-space barrier.
Yeah. Alright, well if that's all you have on Flash, then we can jump right into Arrow.
Alright.
You said you really liked this episode. I didn't hate it, but it did not keep my interest the entire time. I was so excited the last time, and I know it's a long time ago since we talked about this, but we were so excited that frickin' Laurel Lance was back.
I'm just glad it wasn't like a drug-induced vision or something.
Agreed. We both did not want that. However, I also said, I called it. I said it was the Other Earth Laurel.
Black Siren.
There you go. And I didn't want it to be her, but it was. And why? Oliver jumps right into believing her. I don't care if he's guilty or not. Come on.
Oh, Sarah dropped me off. They plucked me out of time and dropped me off. And it's like
we watched you die.
It's like, okay. It's like, no, it was after that.
Right.
Oh, okay. Welcome back. Come on.
That's just so stupid. And how does Prometheus know about all of that?
I think he's the DA, and...
But how does the DA know all about the legends?
I don't know. Maybe he has, like, listening devices. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's another Earth
oh my gosh.
Something. Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
That's the only things that I don't like about how all the shows are interchangeable. So I do love the crossovers and this or that, but that's one reason I don't like the Flash. Like, that whole Other Earth thing. And I said, when you got here, what did I say? That it was total fan service to bring Katie Cassidy back as Black Siren.
Yeah, it was...
And to screw with the fans as well.
It was very convoluted.
Felicity was the only voice of reason this week.
And I hated her.
I know you did. I knew you were going to hate her because she goes against Oliver and she's penting up all of her anger and sadness about Billy. And
yeah, I mean, she's supposed to be like a foil to Oliver, but she's not an effective one, or it doesn't really serve the story as far as I can tell that much. I mean, a little bit, but most of the time it's just, there's no point. Like, to her releasing Evil Laurel, that didn't do anything except for endanger more people. Her going against Oliver and having the rest of the team attack Laurel, that didn't do anything really. They probably could have got the same information right then, sooner instead of later.
See, I don't agree that she's a foil to Oliver. I think she is the other half. I think they're two sides of the same coin. Because we've seen what happens when Oliver just jumps and does whatever he wants. Like, she's the only one that he listens to, and while she doesn't always do the right thing, and telling the team to attack Laurel was definitely more personal than it was the smart thing to do.
I thought it was actually, this episode, he was thinking more logically than, like he said. Like, he knew, I know it's probably a trap, but we need information. And, I actually believed that he might be able to get through to her, because it seemed like he was...
I didn't. She was playing him the whole time, is what I was thinking. So I was Felicity in this episode. I was like, she's going to do something with that glass, with the DNA. She's going to figure something out. And
That was just stupid. And I'm glad that they called it out. Like, why are we having this party?
Right?
It's like, and all of it was just get some DNA in a glass. And it's like, all she could have done was like, hey, you thirsty? Let me grab you some water.
Right. It's again, she doesn't, and that's writing, obviously. It's just, it was kind of all over the place, in my opinion. But I don't know. It's just I don't think that Oliver was going to get through to her because, just for the matter of the way Laurel talks to her when they're one-on-one. Yeah. She immediately was being a little brat and conniving and digging into trying to hurt Felicity.
Yeah. And it was I get, but it was just when she was talking to Oliver, it did actually seem. I think she
was just
performed it well enough that I thought. Yeah. And I still think that there might be some hope for her. Except for then they introduced the other Black Canary.
Yeah, what was that?
Screw you guys.
And that's such crap. It's such... I hate predictable writing. And my video cut off, so I had to go find it online on YouTube to figure out what it was. But it cut off right as Oliver and Felicity are talking about, I'm going to do what I said and train the next Black Canary. And it went to, all I heard was the voice start to talk about how the guys are so cliche. I was like, are you kidding me? They literally just say, I'm going to train the next Black Canary, and that's how you introduce her. It could have been done in a better way. And she has the scream. So is she a meta?
Apparently. And I thought it was Maggie for a second. Maggie Sawyer. She looks exactly like her.
She looked more like Talia.
Yeah, I
thought that's who it was.
So I went from thinking it was Maggie. I was like, is that Maggie? And then I was like, wait, is that Talia? And then it's just like, oh wait, no, it's something completely different that just looks like both of them. Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, on the positive side, I'm glad they didn't do something that has been hinted at on the internet about making Felicity.
Oh, I thought they were, when he started saying that, I thought he was going to turn to her.
Don't you do it!
Why was Felicity even there when they went after Laurel? That's what I was saying earlier.
Who knows?
I mean, I liked that she got the cold clocker, and I knew freaking Curtis was going to be the one to save the day because of his whole woe is me storyline. But why was Felicity there?
Plot.
Exactly.
So I was happy because I was like, oh, good. But then, yeah. If you think about it, they have introduced the perfect way to bring back the actual Black Canary, having it be Laurel. They can even call her Dinah because they don't want to call her Laurel because
Oh, you mean Black Siren?
Yeah, Black Siren. Redeem her.
Oh my gosh, they have enough redemption arcs on this show.
I still want another Black Canary. Some random.
That's true. I don't want another team member.
Yeah, I mean, kill the rest of the team.
Except for Wild Dog.
And then bring back Laurel, because here's the thing about Black Siren. She can actually fight. She's a competent fighter. And then you can have her grow to be better as she works with Oliver. And it wouldn't be a huge leap in logic like it was with normal Laurel.
I guess.
Again, you can call her Dinah like she's supposed to be called in the comic books. You can have the whole romance with Oliver like it's supposed to happen. And it would be perfect. But apparently they want to introduce someone completely different.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
So who's Talia? Because she's dressed like the Green Arrow.
So Talia is the real daughter of Ra's al Ghul. She's the oldest daughter.
Oh.
She's the one. So they adopted this storyline with Nyssa and Oliver, how they get married or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
So that's actually Batman and Talia. They have a son together who is now Robin, Damian Wayne, who's awesome because he kills people. But yeah, she is like Nyssa times 100. She's just all around better. She's awesome. She's great. But yeah, so I'm actually excited to see her. Hopefully they don't screw her up. Yeah. I'm really hoping.
Good luck.
But I cannot tell you how excited I am. Okay, but apart from them being incompetent as far as Black Canary and hating Felicity, I thought the episode was amazing. It felt like season 2.
Yes.
It felt a lot like that. I really like Prometheus as a villain. I like the whole look. I like the voice. I don't like the music still. I still don't like it. The weird...
I still haven't paid attention to the music. I'm going to have to pay attention.
It sounds like it belongs in Alice in Wonderland. It's...
Okay.
Or Willy Wonka. It's
I
really
like that
weird.
He was taunting. He's like... He's upping his game. He's not just standing there and then running away. He's actually talking and taunting and...
Yeah, so like I said, like I told you before, I didn't like how they had him all of a sudden pop into Star Labs and grab Black Siren.
Oh my gosh.
It's really...
And they would not know what was happening.
Yeah. I mean, well, people break in there all the time.
Apparently,
But yeah, it's still, it's... it was really it's out of nowhere. But seeing the episode throughout and the way he plans everything, I believed it a little bit more, especially if the DA is.
Oh, it's got to be him.
It's
either him or he's the next guy they're gonna kill.
Yeah, it's really transparent that way. Arrow has always been really transparent that way. The new guy's always the villain.
Yep.
But if so, I'm gonna rewatch this whole season again because his performance with John, like, it looked like he. I don't know. My theory is that if he is Prometheus, then he has some sort of plan with John because he
could have got rid of him.
Yeah, but he looked really pissed when the guy came in, the general, was trying to mess with his plans, it looked like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just Josh Segar's performance has just been really, really good. It's a drastic change from anything I've ever seen him from everything else I've seen him in. So yeah, I think he's a really solid character.
I do like that the general called out why is the AD, the district, doing a defense case.
Yeah.
Because that's the first thing when he walked in there, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, why would he take it?
Well, I liked how he said it. He was like, well, you know, my boss told me is making me do it.
Yeah.
But I also like how he turned it back and he's like, why is a general involved in a case like this?
Personally here to deliver these papers and to escort the prisoner.
Which I think is like a big misstep on the general's side because it's like, I mean, you bring that up in court and it's like red flags everywhere. Yep. I mean, why would you be there? What else?
Curtis.
I didn't hate him as much as I usually do.
Oh my gosh.
Because he acted more like Mr. Terrific, where he's more toned down and less of an idiot.
I'm sorry, the actor cannot deliver one-liners. They need to give them to Wild Dog or someone else because they keep... Every time they pan in and he's about to... I just cringe already knowing it's coming. I'm like, whatever you're about to say, I don't want you to do it. And it's so bad. It's so bad.
Did he have the cornrows at the end?
Yeah, but did he always have a black T on his face?
Yeah, he always
The paint? No, he had a mask.
Well, no, like when he was in the band, he didn't have it. But, I mean, it's in line with the comic books. I mean, it's a mask. It's not actually paint. It just looks like paint.
So he has a mask that goes here and here?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, the way they explain it in the comic books is his power is being invisible to technology, but like that also has like special properties or something that doesn't like allows for him to people not to see his identity or something like that. I can't remember, but there's like an actual use for it.
I do think they're leading up to him being your version of Mr. Terrific. The way that they are so heavily kept talking how he gets his ass kicked all the time.
Yeah, I loved that they finally brought that up. Like he's useless, basically. Yes. But yeah, like I didn't mind him so much because we saw a more serious tone from him instead of, and like his line. I think his lines weren't great, but they're better, I think, than they usually are. But I just think they should have either killed the husband or separated them, like, a lot sooner, so we can have that story develop.
Yeah.
Because he's basically just been dead weight.
Did Ragman even fight in this episode?
No. So he in the whole Prometheus fight, he's sneaking through some like down to like an aisle of something, and then Prometheus comes up and smacks him in the head, and that's all.
I must have like turned away or something because I don't remember seeing him in this episode.
Yeah, like, he didn't do anything more dead weight. I actually like Wild Dog though.
I do like him.
I like him teasing Mr. Terrific. That's great.
The only part I liked Mr. Terrific in was when Wild Dog tells him, "Good, now that we got that out of the way, if you ever put your hands on me again."
Oh yeah.
And he's looking up at him because he's so much shorter, but he never falters. He's like, he laughs and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I love that.
I didn't hate it, but I mean, we had 2 fantastic episodes with the invasion Arrow and the mid-season finale. So I don't know. I guess I was hoping for a little bit bigger episode or a little with Laurel. It was so predictable. So maybe that's what my issue was. But yeah, I didn't hate the episode. I've definitely hated some Arrow episodes in the past.
Yeah, for sure. The thing I also liked that made this episode a lot better for me was that the flashbacks were more relevant about the whole, what was it, circumstances versus differences or something that they kept bringing up. And also Cousin Johnny from Justified. He plays the Russian guy who's beating up Oliver. He's really good. Like, his accent is on point and everything. He's great. You know, he's dead. Yeah, I like the dialogue, the theme of choice and differences and stuff. I don't know, just felt more like season 2 to me.
Yeah. Anything else we need to touch on?
There was one good line. Was it? Who called? Oh yeah, it was his cousin Johnny. He called Oliver a homeless American douchebag. That was great. Made me laugh really
that was during the flashback, so I kind of tune out during those sometimes.
No, I mean we had a reference to Hub City, which is a DC Comics City, where the question comes from.
Because Hub City's where the Black Canary, obviously the next Black Canary is. Even I know what Hub City is.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate hellhole. Like worse than Gotham, if that's even possible. Yeah.
I don't know if it. Alright, we're getting off tangent and we have to go to Legends.
Okay. I like Legends a lot.
I did too. I really like the personal side of the show, and when it's not being uber campy.
It was still being uber campy.
Towards the end. The first beginning.
It was better though.
Yes, the beginning of the episode when they're all sitting around in their pajamas, they're having good dialogue that's not forced dialogue, and that sort of stuff. It was good. I liked it. And I liked Mick and Gray.
Yeah. Yeah, that was some good stuff. Didn't quite make sense at the end.
No.
By him seeing Snark, but whatever. It was still good stuff.
Yeah.
This was my episode, Star Wars.
Yes.
And they handled
George Lucas. I was just thinking.
They handled it perfectly.
I do like the glucus.
The gluten.
Is that thing you pretend to be allergic to?
It's a real issue.
Of course, Ray Palmer would be gluten intolerant.
That's just a good line. I mean, the way he delivered it, and there was a lot of reactions, but to the side from people as something was happening to someone else. Like when she says he's a yoga instructor.
Oh my gosh.
And you see Ray's face, and he's like.
Well, even Nate. There we go. I got it.
Yeah.
Even Nate was like, "Oh man," because Ray's still a heart surgeon.
Yeah. Oh, and when Amara says, "I don't even like movies," it shows Nate's face in the background,
right?
And he's so pissed.
He's so mad.
It's my expression whenever someone says, "I don't like movies," or "I don't like Star Wars" or something. It's like.
I know, I've seen that face.
Yeah, I've seen that face.
Well, it's mine when people are like, "Why do you I talk about my TV shows or something," and they're just, anyways. I like my TV shows, obviously. No, I really did like this episode. I love that Sarah is obviously very lost without Rip.
Yeah,
and I
like that.
I really like that we saw that when God, what Paul is that his name? Paul.
My name is Paul.
When he steps up to be Rip, you know it's not him, but Sarah's face, the Katie Lotz did a great job. She's so happy and so relieved.
Yeah.
And then his gun is not loaded.
Okay, so that was played so perfectly because he put on a British accent, but it was a bad British accent.
British, yep.
I don't even know how you do that when you are in fact British, but it's way to go, Arthur Darvill.
Yes, you did an American doing a British accent.
He was the star of this whole episode. It's the way he acted everything. He walks into the waiting room and he's like, it's all really groovy.
Groovy, right? When he's groovy office.
Oh my gosh, he was perfect this episode. I miss him.
There was only one or two parts where I just was like, ooh, a little over the top, when he squeals or whatever.
I was laughing so hard.
But I did like so we had seen him doing the movie before, and I kind of didn't quite catch that it was the time traveling. the minute I saw his awful Vandal Savage, who was almost as bad as the real Vandal Savage.
I love that they made fun of that.
Right? I went, his memories are his movie.
Yeah.
I was like, that's really smart. Because we start with Rip and we find out that he hits, and we know what he hits now, but he grabs onto the time core, or whatever it's called. And that's, so he doesn't have his memories. It's not just a time, what do they call it, time warp?
Time sickness or something, whatever. But yeah, it's something different.
Nerd out over Star Wars.
Nerd out over Star Wars, because they handled it perfectly. Okay, so a lot of people just know George Lucas as being the guy who went crazy and screwed up 3 movies. But they, admittedly,
I had no idea he did Howard the Duck, which I love.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I love it. It's
their reactions,
so awful.
it's so terrible.
I love it, right? It's so bad. Anyways, go.
But they handled it perfectly, because really without George Lucas and what he did with Star Wars and Indiana Jones.
I didn't know he was in Indiana Jones either.
Yeah. Him and Steven Spielberg. But what they did with those movies, we wouldn't have any of the movies or television or games or books that we have today. That's like how important Star Wars is. And it's awesome that they showed that with like, Ray would never be an inventor. He would never have earned 4 PhDs. I was about to say something.
Nate wouldn't be a historian after watching Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, inconceivably handsome archaeologist. But yeah, I loved how they handled George Lucas and his influence on time, because it's really huge. Like, it completely changed. We have pop culture because of Star Wars. That's where that first came from. But yeah, I thought it was perfect, except for George Lucas's voice was not whiny enough. Because his voice is really like, maybe we should do this a little bit better. But
you have to tell me this George Lucas story afterwards.
It's so great.
Malcolm and Damien. Hilarious.
How awesome are they together?
I hate them and love them, because it's so stupid that Malcolm Merlin is in this plot. But I loved them. They are so funny together.
I love it. It's like they're getting mugged and it's like, give us your bikes.
Right? But I love, and then when they're arguing about who to shoot first, and I do like them.
I'm not big into shipping, but I shipped them together. Their chemistry is amazing.
It is. Barrowman, John Barrowman is adorable, and he's totally playing that up. Yeah. They are.
Never mind.
It still doesn't make sense to me. It does not. But I have a love-hate relationship. I hate that they're there, but I love them. They are hilarious, and it works. They're that typical. This is why the only issue I really have with Legends in the first season was worse. But it's that typical, like, bad guy, tie you to the train tracks, and then
yes,
like, you're gonna get pulled at the last second, but I've already foiled by telling you everything. They show up at the last second, or right just in time to foil the plan, or just in time to throw you in danger, and then something. I don't know.
How great was the dumpster thing straight from Star Wars? Them putting up the pipe and trying to brace it and everything. Yeah, it's exactly from Star Wars. It was all they were missing was Princess Leia yelling at them. I
want to direct, and then he steals up immediately. It was so stupid.
It was really like, really, that's all you have to do is just believe, and the timeline will fix itself. I don't think that's how it works.
He has to truly, truly believe it.
Whatever. But yeah, I just love Malcolm and Damien. I mean, they're just killing cops in the middle of their precincts. I mean, what? The guy's bleeding out.
And he falls over and no one goes to help. He doesn't cry out in pain.
Chain of custody is a joke. Like, I'm his doctor.
Right. That was the 60s.
Right this way. Yeah, I know. But still, it's like, there's no such thing as chain of custody or whatever. But I think I'm gonna watch it again.
Glassmer, or something.
I'm Philip Glassmer.
Maybe it is Philip. I don't know, but
it's great. It's gold.
It was very well.
I felt so bad for him too when they're gonna torture him.
I know. But maybe he figures out he's Rip through the torture. I don't know.
Oh.
Why does Rip have the spear thing?
I don't know.
Oh, and I love how Damien's just walking down the street with the medallion or whatever it is, the compass, and then it falls out conveniently. This show. This is why I hate this show, because it is that. So Arrow is very dark. Flash is a little bit on the darker side nowadays. Yeah. And then Supergirl is a little on the lighter side, and then you've got Legends that is just fills up all the camp.
They just embrace it. They embrace it though.
But it's so much better than the first season the way they're doing it though.
I still love the first season. I mean, I hated what they did with the Hawk Band, but
yeah.
Aside from that, but yeah, there were just like moments where it was like where they get on the Wave Rider and they lose Rip, and Sarah glares at Damien and
yeah. I was like no.
And
it was like direction is okay now glare.
Yeah, and where Amara steals back her amulet and it's like
yeah, she's fighting the League of Assassins. I'm sorry, come on.
Yeah, Jack's standing up to Malcolm. He should be dead.
That's my other thing. Why is he going out all the time without?
I don't know.
He can't do anything. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, he's a tough kid. He played football. That doesn't qualify you to fight assassins.
I play football, and I'm not going to go out and fight an assassin.
Especially someone who was at one point Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you forget about that. I like to forget about that.
Oh man.
Yeah, those were my only problems. Were just like little moments, like directing moments like that.
The fight scenes are awful. I don't know if it's directing, editing. I know I say this constantly, but they are so much worse. Like there's one time where it cuts into Sarah, and Sarah gets like kicked, and it's just so awkward. And it looks like if I were to tell you, okay, now I'm going to kick you, and stumble backwards. And she's a trained martial artist and a dancer. She knows how to. So I think there's something. I don't know if it's choreography or editing.
It feels like there's a new choreographer, because like in Season 1, even Rip had some really good action moments.
There's just something. Maybe it's a stunt person. There's a disconnect, because we talked about Malcolm Merlin's stunt person.
I mean, yeah. Again, like it's like with Season 4, I think, where he gets his hand cut off, where he fights Oliver on the rooftop. Mm-hmm. Where it's like if you take that and compare it to when he fought as a dark archer against Oliver for the first time, where like he revealed his identity. The way that Malcolm Merlin, he can't fight anymore. It's really weird.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because I was thinking, and I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this season when I have some downtime ever. And, the reason I don't like Malcolm Merlin here is it doesn't fit in the timeline that they gave us. Like, he didn't go dark until his wife was killed.
Yeah.
And so why would he be with Damien Dark? And I understand that it's a time travel sort of thing, but...
Is he still Ra's al Ghul?
Right now?
Yeah. I didn't finish Season 4, so... We
could remember if he died or not. We're awful.
Season 4 is awful, so...
It is.
I feel fine with being confused. Season
4 was Damien Dark, right? In the field of corn?
Yeah. Yeah.
The evil corn,
that
maybe?
That makes no sense.
I don't know. So, we'll still be doing it in the order that we are. We'll do Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, Legends. So if you watch this for one of those, you can skip around, the time frame-ish. And if you watch it, tell us. Yeah. It's cool. Even if you just put a little dot in the comment or something. So let's follow us on Tumblr. I'm Shannon. This is Jadon. We're not married.
No. Yeah. Follow us on Twitter.
Instagram. Nerd Jams on Instagram.
Yeah, I post something almost every day. A lot of stuff, a lot of news. Yeah. I'm on Tumblr now as JJames2, I think.
I'll have to put it in the link.
Or something, yeah. But I post a lot of analysis on movies, apologist stuff, so...
As I have to scroll past it a lot.
Example, I explain some things in BVS that people don't understand.
He explained it to me.
Yeah. Things that people just don't get, I guess. But yeah, I do a lot of stuff like that. It's not that bad.
And we'll be around. We'll be doing Justice League and stuff like that. We're pretty excited about that. But we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. If you're watching, let us know some way, shape, or form. And it's good to be back.